our next subject we want to get into, we want to dive into, is about, we talked about standards, we talked about settling, but that really wasn't from our point of view. So let's talk about men having standards. Let's talk about black men, us having standards, and what do we want? So, A, what do black men want? B, what role do degrees, income, property, etc. play in the stuff that we want? And probably when you're answering one, number two will probably get answered. So what do black men want? What do we want in a woman?
Okay. Well, the one I've
You don't have to give me that caveat.
yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're focused on.
The one I've heard more than anything amongst is someone that they create a family with. That's the one that I've heard the most. And now, having said that, now as an adult, I understand that that actually can't be number one. Even though that was my number one.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, someone that you could build and sustain a great friendship with for life needs to be the number one. Then before you can get to the part where you can create the family, because of that unit. Because like I said, I was raised in a space where I saw a man who said, because I wasn't raised with my father. I was raised by my mother and then moved with my aunt and uncle. And he used to say, "It is us against them," and reiterate that quite often, and have to constantly bring her back into the fold of it is us and then them. And later on I learned that them sustaining their relationship in a healthy manner was the most beneficial situation to them and to all of us, because we benefited from that. We benefited from their healthy unit, but they had to create that unit first and foremost.
Yeah. I don't know what's first, second. I look at it like like it's gumbo. I don't know if the shrimp or the crab legs are the most important, but I know if you take one out, the gumbo don't taste the same, right? So at the top of my list is peace. The most vicious wars. I wasn't around for Civil War, World War I, II, but there was some wars in my damn living room. Okay, Bloody Sunday.
And Tuesday.
With the Laker game on in the background. So you're gonna have disagreements, you're gonna have arguments, but it's about peace. Let me back it up. Let me say it this way. One of the major ways that men interpret love is through respect. But we have a situation where we've taught our generations to be disrespectful to men. Mm-hmm. I've seen 20-year-old women talk to 50-year-old men like they were their 14-year-old little brothers. Mm-hmm. So I hear all this stuff about the love language and this and that. Well, respect is a language all of its own. So peace and respect are intertwined. We have far too much chaos when dealing with each other. So peace is number one. Not number one. Peace is the chicken thighs of my gumbo.
You got chicken thighs.
I got chicken thighs in my gumbo, man.
Okay.
Because it got the fat in it.
Okay.
You don't need none of this stuff, man. And I cook better than you, so don't even worry about it.
You're absolutely correct.
What else is in my gumbo? Let's see. We're gonna have peace. We're gonna have good faith. I'm not going to come into a situation assuming the worst of you. And I don't want you to come into a situation assuming the worst of me. If that's the case, then why do we pick each other? Isn't the foundation that you picked a good person?
Right.
our relationships are built so adversarial. I took one of his words, son.
Yeah, there it is.
No, so where's the good faith? You know, if you give a good man, most men, peace and good faith, he gonna turn into a lion tamer for you. Now you've been married 176 years. You should have some thoughts on this too, right?
Yeah, I mean, my top two is cooperation and affection, right? So as the dude that is not challenged, but it has the responsibility of carrying the family, of leading the family, leading the relationship. You know, I come in with, I have a purpose, I have a vision, and I need cooperation, right? Even when it comes out, and it's not just professionally or personally. It means, you know, as a father and raising sons and daughters, it's like, yo, I also have a plan of teaching them responsibility at the same time. So I need your cooperation with that, right? Like, and I'll air this one. I mean, because, you know, it's known. So, so if I say I'm not washing dishes or taking out the trash, as long as these kids live in my house, then I'm not going behind them and washing dishes, and because that's their responsibility. They have to learn responsibility, right? So when me and my wife used to get into it about, she was like, I just don't want to see the dishes. I'm like, you're missing the point. It's not about you, it's not about us, it's about teaching them responsibilities. Like, they have a role in the household too. So I need cooperation, because I got a big picture shit going on here, right? I got big picture shit going on with, listen, if their grades aren't a certain way, then they can't do other shit, right? That means that's accountability and that's responsibility. So I don't need you going behind me say, it's okay, baby, you know, you can do this. No, I need you to be on cooperating with my program, because my program benefits everyone, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I was brought up. That's the way I was raised. That's the way I was socialized with the men in my life, that I'm looking big picture, bird's eye view of my family. So I need cooperation. And on the flip side of that, in addition to all the other stuff that family, friendship, peace, respect, good faith, and then the other thing is affection, right? I need that. I want that. When I'm chilling, when I'm coming into the house after, you know, doing my thing in the world, maybe
went to war.
Maybe nigga need his head rubbed. You know what I'm saying? maybe I need my back rubbed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I just need some affection. I need that good feminine energy.
Physical touch.
That physical touch. I need that. So,
or as the therapist say, a touchstone, something to balance you.
I love that. Right. I need something to balance out this masculine shit that I got to put up as a black man on the daily to survive.
Well, real quick, to the folks that automatically heard that and said, well, what if I want that? Well, this is the What Men Want segment, first of all. Second of all, that's what we're talking about in terms of being cooperative. Right. You hear that sentence, and if your first response is a fight, is a battle,
or think about what you want,
then that's something that you need to work on. Because maybe that's why the person don't want to be with you. Right? So,
because I never said
that you weren't going to do
what she wants.
Exactly.
Right.
But you know how people hear things. Cooperation. I thought of it like this. My home is the city. Okay? I'm the mayor of the city. Right? And I'm responsible for how the city runs. Like my son Brendan, you the head of the sanitation department. You don't see the mayor pull up in the trash truck, but he makes sure that the city has the funds for the sanitation program.
100%.
And you the head of that department.
100%.
Right? Now, unless you volunteering to be mayor, right? Unless you volunteering to be mayor, you need to stay head of sanitation. Trust me, it's a better job than mayor.
Yes.
You the mayor and city manager.
Come on.
I was in charge of landscape and transportation.
Yes.
Which means, you know,
Cut the grass.
I took care of all that stuff outside,
Yep.
swept
Edge the grass.
and whatnot, and specifically before family holidays. And I also had to shuttle cats to football practice and basketball practice.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and parties.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my deal, and it really didn't matter if I had a bird over on a Saturday night at 10 p.m. because you know you got to go pick them dudes up, and I can care less about what you got going
You
on.
gotta
brother.
do what you gotta do. You got
You know.
you have duty, you have responsibility. But to your affection piece, affection is super important. Affection falls under the category of support in many situations. Okay? And no, it's not just about sex, but sex is included.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Let's. Sex is the through line. So let's be clear.
We don't have another checking account to pay these bills out of. You my sexual checking account. And the bill is due. So unless you want me to go over there and get a prepaid Visa or something,
At another
with
bank.
another bank, we need to pay this bill. That's part of my financial literacy
but
program.
listen, my boy Cameo he says it like this. Cameo says it like this. He says it's about oranges. He said, so your lady got oranges, the nice, ripe, juicy oranges at the crib. And you get to walk by the oranges, you get to, you know, and you have chosen to only get her oranges. But what happens when she decides not to give you oranges? What are you supposed to do with that? Okay, cool.
But you ain't no man. What kind of man is you? You ain't no man.
Well, no, actually, I am a man. That's the point.
Yeah, I want
the
my. I got oranges at home. I want my home oranges.
You don't see them people selling them oranges off the freeway? You want me to stop in the freeway? We
Big-
got fresh oranges right
Big
here.
juicy oranges.
Yeah.
Sweet
Oranges with thick skin on them.
man.
You know.
Man. So, anything we want to wrap up this is what men want.
Well, you know, years ago, back when I was married, remember we did the couples chat,
Yeah. Yes.
the legendary couples chat, which is be a whole nother segment really if we did that one. But you know, like when I was married, I asked the question. I was like, when we were dating, you used to, you know, go out, you looked all great, and this is, and now we're married. You come to bed and you look like you Elmer Fudd hunting, chasing Bugs Bunny around. Why you got on the sweats with the balls on them and the eye black? You know, I was like, what are we doing? You know, so just a little cooperation and affection put together with like, you get dolled up for strangers. Why are their opinions so important? Would mine be more important? Right? You're beautiful to me. And that encompasses a lot of things. You just pretty to them.
Oof.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we're losing. We think pretty and sexy is the same as beautiful. And beautiful is some grown woman shit. And that encompasses all those things we talked about, including family, including the loyalty, including all of the things that a woman is to her man. That's beautiful. I turn on Instagram right now, that might be pretty, that might be sexy, but I just swipe next. I want beautiful.
Yeah, and even the mentality of I'm married, and now that I'm married and I got this cat, I'm going to look like Elmer Fudd most of the time, like I'm hunting wabbits. Most of the time I come to bed
Man.
is bullshit.
Let me tell you something. I saw her come to bed a couple nights and I knew she could crip walk. I was like, gotta be able to crip walk, looking like
And
that.
this is not to say that men don't do this.
No,
but this is
what
what
the
men want.
What men want.
So,
Right.
You know?
So okay, trigger warning. If you heard any of this in your first, and I'm only saying this the second time because Jay already said it, and your first reaction was, but men do X, or men need to do XYZ, or men don't do, then rewind the shit and listen to the shit again. This is about what men want. I stopped short of saying fuck you, but
That's cool.
We can end on that.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
no, you can't beat me on wrestling. You can't beat me on wrestling. If you look like B.A. Baracus coming to the table with a sleeveless shirt.
so also so that means
And this is my wife, B.A.
is it okay to ask for at least some semblance of fitness?
Listen, I said I don't want a woman bigger than me, and people got mad. I'm 230 pounds.
Hey, right, and here's the thing, man, because I was watching this thing.
That gave you 215.
I'm watching this. You know what I'm saying? 200, 220,
Hey.
technically. And so, I was watching this thing about Lizzo, right? And it was about body shaming, and Dio and I talked to this off camera. It's about what they call it,
Body
shaming.
positivity?
Body positivity.
Yeah.
And that's cool, in a certain sense, if a woman needs that. But when you flip that and say you can't put that on men, you can't put that on me and say, well, you have to see me as beautiful and attractive. I don't see that as beautiful and attractive.
Yeah.
So just because I don't see it as beautiful and attractive, that doesn't mean anything's wrong with me.
No, what you're attracted to is what you're attracted to.
That's my standard.
Yeah, there's a woman.
That's my preference.
You talking about you gotta like me, even though I weigh 3. I was like, that's not a weight for a woman. That's the time when elementary school let out.
That's a time to get
And-
fights in.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm not creating some unnecessary standard for you to attain to, what does it matter what my fucking opinion is? Now, if you won't even be engaged in a relationship. If you're walking out there projecting, saying that someone has to accept you as you are, I would just kindly say no, they do not.
Well, no, you know, here's the thing. We joke about it, we play about it, but you know, I've lost weight and I've had to make some lifestyle changes for my health. But don't you want the person that you're with to have as healthy a lifestyle as possible? The longevity, if you have family, if you plan on walking through this life together,
Right.
okay, you want to spend more time doing things that are productive and less times in hospital waiting rooms,
Yes.
you know. So it's all positive until diabetes. It's all positive until heart disease. It's all fun and games until your ankles are swollen, you know, and you can't put on your own damn shoes no more.
Right. My stepfather had a massive heart attack in my mother's arms and died. Right. I'm pretty sure she would have liked to have some longevity with him together. You know what I'm saying? My mom transitioned after, a surgery, knee surgery, just wasn't healthy, man, and didn't come out of that surgery, right? It all goes back to health. Like, I would have loved to have spent more time with my mother. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So this ain't just about body negativity.
No,
it's
man.
about life and longevity.
My
Consequences of those decisions.
My grandmother was a large woman. She had a stroke in the bathroom, passed when I was in junior high school. I would have loved for her to been a little smaller and lasted a little longer.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Well, here's a data point.
Here we go.
53% of the people in this country die because of choices. Food, dietary, and lifestyle choices. That's more than half of the people in this country die because of choices. Preventable deaths. Accidents and unforeseen things, there's only like 21%.
So are you counting the cancers and the diet? Those are all eating choices, right?
Yeah, but that's not even included in that.
Damn.
so that number is higher.
Yeah, so the
That's a
cancers
safe
and
number.
unforeseen, which that's like 17 to 20-some%. The 53 is dietary, personal choices that people are
So
making.
you can make the argument that real number is probably 65.
Yes, because if you add those things like the cigarette smoking and things like that that have caused the cancers and things like, but they separated that. This is just strict choices. Diabetes, kidney failure, things of such.
There it is. So what we want is, let me recap. Family, friendship, peace, cooperation, respect, good faith, affection, and health.
And get a proper pedicure, because don't nobody like that heel cheese scraping them in the bed. Go get a pedivac or something like that, because your heels could hit each other and cause a spark in the fucking bed.
What you say? You
And
can't
you
have
don't wanna
the
get touched
feet of
by
a
that.
young hawk.
Come on.
You know, hawks pick up their children with their feet.
That feminine, hey, feminine. Get some of that feminine energy and that feminine. Yeah,
That heel cheese off before
That-
you bring
yeah.
that shit in my bed.
yeah.
Them river dance feet.
We out.